Shabbat Shalom, my Hebrew brothers and sisters, to the entire Hebrew nation. I'm out here in one of the parks that I frequent, and I was, taking my walk and, walking around. It's a beautiful spot, and they have benches throughout the trail. So I took a seat. I just wanted to say a little something for, the evening, the Shabbat. Guys, yeah, there's a Yah. If anybody's in doubt, trust me, don't be in doubt. I've had some things happen to me recently that's not that I wasn't secure in the belief anyway, but it's just strengthened it. Share with you quickly because I don't want to keep you guys too long. The other night I had to get up and go to the bathroom, relieve myself. And, one of the bathrooms, I was sleeping in one of the guest rooms. I didn't sleep in the master bedroom because I didn't want to. So I went and slept in the other room, which is close, to the side of the house that I live with. It's a lot of woods. And I just happened, I always look out the window and everything. So I looked out the window and, I looked up and there was this big, the scope of things here on this planet, a big greenish orb, ORB. And I looked at it for a minute and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just imagining this. And it was in front of the moon. I think what the term was be called waxing. The moon was waxing when it's, beginning to, disappear. It was still dark to be considered night, but it was coming upon, I guess, in about an hour or two, morning. So I saw this green orb just still, and I'm like, what's that? And okay, and so I looked at it. I opened the blinds so I can get a better look at it, and it started bouncing like a basketball on the ground. It started just bouncing, like playfully bouncing. And I'm like, okay, because I know there's a lot of, sometimes not a lot, but some military aircraft that do fly over my house. This wasn't one time. This wasn't a time that was. This was something else. And it just kept bouncing. It was like playing with me. And I said, okay, nobody going to believe me. Let me go get my phone, because that's what people do. They go get their phones and start recording stuff. So I watched it for like 5 minutes. I thought I had sleep in my eyes. And then I said, let me go get my phone. Came back and got my phone, and it was gone. Just like that. Gone. And it was like a light green, beautiful. I never seen this color replicated in life. I'm out here in the woods, and I'm trying to see if I see any trees with the leaves that I could show you that color. But it was like almost iridescent, but deep, deep emerald kind of green. And so I didn't catch it. I'm still looking every night. I'm sleeping in the guest bedroom over there, and I'm always coming across some stuff. If you look on my channel, there was a white orb that bounced up the steps, rung the doorbell. Look in my description box. It rung the doorbell. It was like 11:30, and I'm looking at my cam, and the time my brother and them was up here visiting and stuff, down here visiting, and we're like, who the heck is that? Ringing this bell at 11:35, 11:37. So we looked on the camera, and it was. If you look on my channel, you'll see it, because I asked you guys, what is it? A lot of people said the same thing, I believe. An orb, which is supposed to represent a spiritual energy. But there's a lot of good things that they say about a green orb, that supposed to represent the heart, nature, a spiritual beginning, a spiritual new beginning. So look up, what's like the meaning of a green orb. And then, I promised to share this story to a couple of people, so I'll just say it now that I'm in the right mind to say it. 1992 was the year. I was a young girl then, a young woman. And I wasn't into, any specific religion, not really. And I wasn't yet in the Hebrew nation. But I was well aware of stuff. I like to study science. My aunt, who's my late aunt, and my mother both studied like supernatural stuff. And, my mom and stuff was clairvoyant. Call it witchcraft or whatever you want to do. My mother was not an evil person, and neither was my aunt. They were very spiritual women. And my aunt could read crystal balls, palm, your palm. My mom could even read your eyes and stuff. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying. 1992, I was staying with my boyfriend at the time, and he was working. I had just got off the phone with him and my brother, and that's another story I might have them tell you guys. The hauntings that went on in these places that they worked, the stores. Balls just bouncing across the floor, shopping carts being pushed, and nobody's there. So there are such things as spirits and ghosts and stuff like that, but some ghosts are good and some ghosts are not so good. There's demonic spirits and there's righteous spirit. So if somebody tells you I'm a spiritual person, well, what energy are you possessing? Good spirit or bad? Because there's lots of bad, energy that somebody can get tied up in. So it's not just like a righteous thing or evil thing. It could be either one. But I don't know. You have to see. You have to see, which one is you. But in any event, that's what I did. I called them. I think I called my brother first, and he was telling me all this stuff about ghosts running around loose in the store, clothes racks just moving by themselves, all kind of stuff I'll share with you guys. And I know there's ghosts. Growing up, we had ghosts in our house, and I'll tell you that another day. But getting back to this story, so 1992, I called my brother first, and then I called my boyfriend to see what's going on with them. Same old things, the ghosts bothering them, stomping around, doing crazy stuff. And so I hung up the phone. I remember it was like after 2, it was like almost 2:30ish. I can see the clock, so I'm thinking like 2:28, 2:27, stuff like that. And so I went to sleep. But we lived in a decent area, but I always slept at the base of the bed, not the head, because the head faced the door that you come into the apartment. At the time I was in the apartment with my boyfriend, and so I always slept at the base of the bed, the bottom of the bed, and I had my knife. I had my knife, y'all, right by me, always, okay? And so I went to sleep. And when you go to sleep around that time of the morning, that you in this deep sleep, I guess, because I was in a deep sleep. I was tired and sleepy, stuff like that. So they call it REM sleep. Anyway, I'm laying there in the bed, and I'm going to try and recreate the sound that I heard. Okay, I'm laying with my head to the bottom of the bed, and then over to my left, there's a big window with woods. Okay, there's nothing but woods over there. There's some more houses down the road, but this was like 3 empty lots, wooded. Okay, so I'm there sleeping, and all of a sudden, I hear this. So I stopped right here. I woke up. I'm like, what the heck? And like you laying in bed and you go to sit up to try, because I was going to go over. Y'all, the brightest light ever in my life that I've ever seen. If you put me in a stadium and shine the lights right on in my face, it's not bright enough. It's not bright enough. This was the brightest, whitest light I have ever seen in my entire life. in reality, in books or whatever. It didn't even come close. I'm like, what is going on? Now, I was kind of ignorant then. I'm thinking maybe because there was a sheriff's department down the road, so I'm thinking maybe they're doing an exercise or something. And, and I heard this energy get off or whatever that was, because I wanted to go peek out the window, nosy me. It was something outside of my window. I had the windows closed and the blinds shut, and I went to get up. I couldn't get up, guys. It's like sleep paralysis already, but I could hold that knife. Okay. So I knew something was up with this. Okay. Because, I always tried, even though I didn't really go to church that much anymore. I was living in sin. I wasn't married. I was still living with my boyfriend and stuff like that. But I was good. I was a good girl, a good young woman. I didn't do anything bad to people. I always treated people with kindness and care. So, but I could feel this energy. And I don't know if it was, I wasn't getting good vibes from it. Let's put it that way. So anyway, I just stayed calm and I gripped my knife. And I heard this thing, outside of my window. Doot, doot, doot. It was waiting for something to come back. That's what I got, And I laid still as I could. And I lived in an upstairs apartment in the back, like I said, near the woods. And something, whatever that was, it was a single energy that I felt, came out of it, walked close as it could to the house, to the side of the house, walked in the front, came up the stairs. I'm seeing all of this I'm feeling all of this, guys. It didn't have any kind of looks to it. It was just energy. And it went through the front door, because there was two doors, the entrance to this apartment house and then my apartment upstairs, me and my boyfriend's apartment. So it went through the front door, then there was a stair. It came up the stairs. And I'm holding that knife, okay? And it came up the stairs, paused a minute, and then proceeded to walk through my door, my front door. And then my front door, there was a hall that led to the back where the bedroom was. So it was a short hall, but it slowed down. And I'm like, what? What? And that, guys, would change my life. Because I knew I was in trouble. I don't know what this energy was. I wasn't really feeling it. But I felt this, and I felt compelled to ask God to help me. I said 4 words. I shut because this energy was just about to cross my door, to cross the entrance into my bedroom, whatever it was. And I shut my eyes closed tight. And I said, God, please help me. And that was the most sincerest time I have ever asked God to help me. Because I know if you ask God to help you right now for whatever it is you're going through, it will be answered. But you got to mean it. You got to mean it. It has to be for real. You got to believe it. And next thing I know, my boyfriend was coming through the door. I'm like, yo, what's up? What's up? And he's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, something went on here. Something, because I didn't wake up until he came through the door. I slept through it, whatever. And he was like, what? And I'm like, I heard something last night, and I was able to get up. I got up out of the bed. I went to the window, and I'm like, outside the window, there was a big impression on the grass because it was, morning dew or whatever. So I was like, I got to go outside. And then my boyfriend followed me outside. Downstairs, my sister and my future sister-in-law was living there. And I banged on our door. I said, did you hear anything last night? She's like, no, I didn't hear a thing. What is it? So we all 3 of us went outside to where I heard this noise. And guys, the biggest circle impression, like something landed on something. The grass was splayed wide open. And my boyfriend was like, yes, something definitely landed here. And my sister-in-laws, I told them what happened. And they were like, what? And I called the sheriff's department down the road. They were like, no, we didn't do nothing. I called the cops. Nah, we didn't do nothing. So, yeah. I mean, I have other experiences. I don't want to hold you guys, but that has stuck with me. I don't know if this energy was evil. I don't know if it was good. I didn't get a good feeling from it. And I got more of a bad feeling than I did good, but I could be misinterpreting something too. But if you guys have any idea, leave it in the comments. I'm going to let you guys go now because there's a lot of strange guys walking around over here. I don't know, people crazy and stuff. So I'm going to get going here. I'm going to cut this short. I appreciate you guys listening to this. But check out, if you look it up with that green orb, because that's what I saw outside my window. And then if you look on my channel, I have an actual video of a white orb bouncing up the stairs, the front of the stairs, ringing the doorbell, and then ascending into the night sky. So that's what I saw, and it was pretty scary, but that's what I saw. And leave some comments for me, and I appreciate you guys listening to this. Shabbat Shalom to all of my brothers and sisters who are righteous and pure in heart. I love you guys a lot. Thanks a lot for listening to me. Okay, bye-bye. Take care.